Why, hello there, old sports. Now, I was going to take a short break from making Five Nights at Freddy's videos for a little bit, because I'm both running out of ideas, and no one seems to be watching them, so it's kinda hard to feel motivated when, on top of that, I don't have any ideas. But something came up that really bothered me, and like any YouTuber worth my salt, I'm going to complain about it whether someone cares or not. Now, for those who don't know, the topic of today's video, Bite by Night, is a Roblox asymmetrical horror game that is inspired by both Five Nights at Freddy's and Dead by Daylight. It uses FNAF-inspired locations, as well as featuring multiple FNAF characters in the killer role of the game. This includes Springtrap, Ennard, and the Mimic, at least for now. They have plans to add characters like the Puppet, which again, is a Five Nights at Freddy's character. This will be important in a moment. Like many other Roblox games, the platform's virtual currency, Robux, can be used to purchase many things within the game, and in this case that includes unlocking killers, or skins, etc. And this is where the problem is, because to be completely honest, the gameplay or general design doesn't really matter for today's conversation, but rather the blatant copyright infringement. Now, before moving forward, I obviously want to state that if you like Bite by Night, I don't think you are a bad person for liking it. I also believe that our current general copyright laws throughout the world are very archaic and overall harmful to artists. But even if I think said laws should be different, they currently aren't, and this game is blatantly breaking the law, and it sets a dangerous precedent for not only fan games, but for the Five Nights at Freddy's series itself. The creator of the Five Nights at Freddy's series, Scott Cawthon, has stated multiple times that he's okay with most fan games, as long as they aren't aiming to replace an official paid game, and as long as they aren't monetized, meaning you can't make money off of it. Scott has even taken down the Patreon page for Popgoes years ago because of the inclusion of Shadow Bonnie within the paywalled content. So both due to the fact that this is using Scott's characters and locations, and the fact it's doing so blatantly, the game drew attention from Scott himself. Now, so far the devs have changed the names of the killers, and they've also stated they're in negotiations with Scott. And you might think that should be the end of it, but it really isn't. So to recap things, a group of people made a live service game with multiple monetization avenues, including a battle pass equivalent, got caught, and are now in communication with Scott about a possible license, all after making hundreds, if not thousands of dollars already, because the game had over 300,000 people playing it on the first day, so even if only a fraction of those people paid, they're still paying they're not paying like $1 equivalent, so the team probably made a lot of money so far. Now I think that's really bad, because for years it's been established that fan game creators need to keep their projects completely free and unmonetized for everyone. Then out of nowhere, a whole group of people knowingly break those rules, and now might even be getting rewarded for it. Not only does this spit in the face of every fan game developer who's put blood, sweat, and tears into a passion project, all for no financial reward, but it's also disrespectful to Scott's wishes. This is one of the most plain and blatant cases of asking for forgiveness, not permission, that I've ever seen. Because if these are the rules now, everyone should just break the law as a way to get Scott's attention. And hey, after you make some money, you might even get the go-ahead to make even more if you get an official license. How is that okay whatsoever? It doesn't matter how good or bad the game is as an actual game, because first of all, it's still breaking the law, no matter the quality of the illegal product, but it also brings the question up of how it's decided which games are good enough to sidestep and ignore the wishes of the creator of the IP you're stealing to make money off of, or using to make money off of. Because if the worst outcome of breaking the law is getting to have a conversation of Scott that ends with getting a license to keep making more money, Why would anyone follow the rules? I agree that many FNAF fan games deserve to make money to support their developers, but at the end of the day, that was what the fanverse was for. So honestly, if the devs of Byte by Night wanted to make money off of their FNAF project, they should have just gone to Scott in the beginning and asked for permission, or tried to join the fanverse. Because we know from the leaked game that Scott is open to working officially within Roblox. He is okay with the idea of having official Five Nights at Freddy's Roblox games. But that's the thing, the devs didn't do that. They just went ahead and released the game with ways to pay money on day one. And when they got caught, they lazily changed the names of the characters they're using while they try to come to some sort of agreement. Also, just to add, changing the names of the characters doesn't really cover them legally at all. I'm not even sure why they did it. Because you can't just take a character like Mickey Mouse, change his name, and nothing else, and make money off of him. You're still breaking the law. And before someone says it, whether you get caught or not doesn't make it okay. You're still making money off of someone's work, and in this case, it's specifically someone who has asked you not to make money off of his work. Honestly, I don't see this whole situation ending well any way you slice it, because at best, and what will probably inevitably happen from here, is that people will look at Byte by Night and start monetizing their own projects in whatever way they can. Then, if Scott catches them, maybe they'll try to negotiate a deal while still keeping the money they've already made. And then on the other side, at worst, if Scott keeps seeing this happen, he's going to be a lot more strict with fan games going forward, and that's not good for anyone. It would be awful if this whole thing was ruined just because one team of developers got a bit greedy. Now, I'm not an expert on copyright law, but I do know if that you don't defend and enforce your IP rights, eventually you can lose exclusive access to that IP. So if Scott sees people trying to break the law after they saw their favorite Roblox ASIM do it, he might decide to be more strict with what he allows in terms of fan games in order to protect his legal rights. Now, again, I think in the USA at least, our current copyright laws aren't good at all, but right now, that is what the law is, and if you don't want to follow laws, you have to try to get them changed, because you don't want to go to prison. Scott has also overall been very generous with his ability to strike things down, and now, again, whether he would be in the right or wrong to do otherwise is debatable on a moral level. But my point is that this can and will cause problems if Scott just lets this go with a slap on the wrist, and especially if he actually rewards it. Now, do I think that Byte by Night should be sued? No, that feels like it's a bit too far to be honest, especially considering how brutal the legal system can be. But I really do believe that the game should be taken down until they remove the paid elements of the game. Even if you can earn all the paid things by playing the game freely, the fact that there even is an option to pay real money is dangerous, or it sets a dangerous precedent. And again, this is just really unfair to the various fan game developers who have followed the rules for the last 11 years of this franchise's existence. Because I can understand why people would want Byte by Night to be able to make money, because the people behind it have obviously worked very hard. But at the end of the day, if they can break the rules and get away with it, or even get rewarded, why can't everyone else? It just opens a door that is very hard to shut, if not impossible to shut. Honestly, I think most, if not all, fan game developers should be reimbursed in some way or have the ability to make money off of their projects, because you're still putting lots of time and effort into something that people are enjoying, and sometimes that's more enjoyment they're getting from the official product. But again, that's a whole debate you can have. I just think that this whole thing it's opening Pandora's box in a sense, like I just said, but again, these are just my opinions. Scott is his own man, he can do whatever the hell he wants. It's his decision at the end of the day, and whether it's good or bad for the franchise, that's his decision to make. Either way, if you're here at the end of the video, share your thoughts down below with me. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on this if you have any. And anyways, I guess that's it for today. I'm gonna go to sleep. I've been up way too long. See you on the flip side.